Welcome to Eye on the Tigers News. I'm Kennedy Lamb.
And I'm Andrea Ross. Thanks once again for joining us for the news we've been following for you. A Germanwings Airbus crashed into the French Alps early this morning. The plane was flying from Barcelona, Spain to Dusseldorf, Germany. As search and rescue teams raced to the remote region, France's president warned that no survivors were expected. The plane sent out a distress signal at 10:45 a.m. local time, then crashed in a mountainous zone at an altitude of about 2,000 meters. The plane carried 142 passengers and 6 crew members.
Launching his bid for the Republican presidential nomination, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas asked Christian conservative voters to imagine a United States without the IRS, Obamacare, or abortion rights, and to imagine they can make that happen by supporting him. His aspirational appeal on Monday, aimed at America's most conservative voters, would quickly run into challenges in winning over moderate voters, and eventually deep difficulties in governing should Cruz win the White House. But it's a message that Cruz, the first major 2016 contender to declare himself a candidate, is expected to forcefully emphasize in the coming year before voters start to pick nominees.
The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday turned away a challenge to Wisconsin's voter identification law, allowing the law to stand and handing a victory to Governor Scott Walker following a long fight by opponents who say it's a thinly veiled attempt to make it more difficult for Democratic backers to vote. The law won't be enforced for an April 7th election because it's only 2 weeks away, but it will be in subsequent elections, the state attorney general said. Walker, a likely 2016 Republican presidential candidate, is a longtime proponent of voter ID requirements and signed Wisconsin's into law in 2011. But it was only in effect for one low-turnout primary in 2012 before legal challenges kept it on hold.
The Pentagon says it is notifying 100 military members that their names and addresses were posted on the internet by a group calling itself the Islamic State Hacking Division. The group said it was posting information to encourage Muslims in the United States to kill military members. A Pentagon spokesman said Monday that there is no indication that the information was obtained through a government data breach. He said it could be gathered from public records and by searching social media accounts.
What's one thing astronaut Scott Kelly can't do without when he moves into space this week for a year? A belt. Kelly went beltless during his 5-month mission at the International Space Station a few years back, and he hated how his shirt tails kept floating out of his pants. So this time, the 51-year-old retired Navy captain packed a military tactical-style thing that can hold a tool pouch. Actually, scratch pouch. He prefers superhero utility belt. After more than 2 years of training, Kelly and Russian cosmonaut Mikhail Kornienko are eager to get going. It will be the longest space mission ever for NASA, and the longest in almost 2 decades for the Russian Space Agency, which holds the record at 14 months.
According to Syracuse.com, a hearing into the 1994 kidnapping of Heidi Allen will resume at 9 a.m. today in Oswego County Court without Gary Thibodeau. The prosecution is supposed to start presenting its case, but Thibodeau's lawyer wants to call a few more witnesses, including those related to the 1981 abduction by one of 3 new possible suspects in Allen's kidnapping. Thibodeau, the only person convicted of kidnapping Allen, won't be present as District Attorney Greg Oakes is scheduled to begin calling his first witnesses to try to derail Thibodeau's request that his conviction be vacated and a new trial be ordered.
A former tool demonstrator at the Long Island Home Depot claims he was fired unfairly from his job because he has ISIS tattooed on the inside of his lip. Kirk Soccorso had worked for an outside vendor, Acosta, at the Patchogue Home Depot on Long Island for 6 months. He claims the tattoo is actually the name of an ex-girlfriend and has nothing to do with the Islamic State terror group in the Middle East, which is commonly referred to by the acronym ISIS. That was 4 years ago, before the supposed girlfriend split up with him, and before the Islamic State group began taking over territory in Iraq and Syria and publicizing gruesome executions.
We woke up to a beautiful January morning. Problem is, it's the 3rd week of March and the 1st week of spring. When can we expect some relief? Here's Alyssa Greco with the forecast.
Record cold temperatures this morning, 2 degrees as we waited at the bus stop. That's a record that's nearly 100 years old. Temperatures will rebound during the day under mostly sunny skies, but will only get to the low 30s, still nearly 20 degrees below normal. In fact, a week from today, the average high temperature is 50. It doesn't seem we're ever going to get there, at least for this week we won't. Slightly warmer temperatures are on the way, both Wednesday and Thursday, as a new system comes our way. But with the southerly airflow comes some wet conditions. We could see at least 1/4 of an inch of rain tomorrow. That rainmaker moves out later Thursday, and that brings in colder air for Friday, and even colder air is on tap for Saturday. If you're looking ahead to next week's spring break, and we use the term spring loosely, we're looking at computer data that it still has us with below normal temperatures. There are some indicators that some more normal temperatures may be a couple of weeks away. We'll keep watching and waiting. With your forecast, I'm Melissa Greco.
The NCAA takes a break after a frantic weekend of games that leaves us with 16 sweet teams left. Here's Mr. Charbonneau.
The NCAA tournament has been whittled down to a Sweet 16. 3 top seeds, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and Duke, have survived to the second weekend, with the 4th top seed, Villanova, staying home after they were upset in round 2. Regional games begin on Thursday and Friday, followed by regional finals on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, Syracuse is hosting the East Regional, with Oklahoma, North Carolina State, Louisville, and Michigan State all looking to advance to the Final Four. A threat against President Barack Obama's niece, a player on Princeton's women's basketball team, prompted increased security at the Tigers NCAA tournament game at Maryland on Monday night. Officers began an immediate investigation into this call and notified the United States Secret Service. Of course, on Saturday, President Obama attended Princeton's 80-70 victory over Wisconsin Green Bay in the first round of the NCAA tournament, inevitably drawing attention to his niece, freshman forward Leslie Robinson. Her father, Craig Robinson, is the brother of First Lady Michelle Obama. The National Football League is suspending one of its least popular policies. The NFL will not black out any games from local television for the upcoming 2015 season. The blackout rule was adopted by the NFL in 1975 and blocks local TV stations from broadcasting games in home markets if the stadium is not sold out 72 hours before kickoff, and prevents cable and satellite providers from carrying the games. It's a policy that has affected Buffalo Bills fans for over the last decade. With your sports, I'm Michael Charbonneau.
With a quick look at this week's calendar, here's Abby Garrett.
Next year's school calendar has been released and is available on the district's webpage. Classes won't start until September 8th, with graduation slated for June 24th. The Friends of Rachel Club will be selling spring bunnygrams from today through Thursday the 26th. For only 50 cents, send a spring greeting and a mini Kit Kat to brighten someone's day. Please see a Friends of Rachel Club member if you would like to purchase bunnygrams for your friends and teachers. Students traveling to France this summer should plan on attending an informational meeting this Friday, March 27th at 2:15 in Madame Harder's room. Juniors who are attending the junior prom should sign up on the class roster. They should do so in Miss Harder's room, Mrs. Greco, Mr. Deckman's, or Mr. Coughlin's room. Please use the clipboard provided. And sports physicals will be held here at the high school on May 5th and May 19th. You must see Miss Wallace for paperwork and to sign up. This physical will allow you to be eligible to play sports for the entire 2015 and 2016 year. And finally, here's Svenja with our history lesson.
In 1765, Britain enacted the Quartering Act requiring American colonists to provide temporary housing to British soldiers. In 1883, long-distance telephone service was inaugurated between Chicago and New York City. In 1958, Elvis Presley was inducted to the Army in Memphis, Tennessee. In 1973, the album Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd was released. In 1989, the nation's worst oil spill occurred, and as the supertanker Exxon Valdez ran aground on a reef in Alaska's Prince William Sound and began leaking 11 million gallons of crude. In 1998, a 13-year-old boy and his 11-year-old cousin opened fire outside their school in Jonesboro, Arkansas, killing 4 students and a teacher, injuring 10. And in 2001, Apple Computer's operating system Mac OS X went on sale.
That's all for us today. Thanks again for joining us. For the staff of Eye on the Tigers, I'm Kennedy Lamb.
And I'm Andrea Ross. Take care and look for us again on Wednesday afternoon.